Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, hi, my name is Madison. I am a new grad labor and delivery nurse. I don't really know what I'm going to title this yet, like 10 things I wish I would have known before going into it, or like adjustments and things that I've learned this past year as a new grad nurse. And actually, when you guys are seeing this, the day this goes live, tomorrow, December 13th, I will officially have been at my hospital for already a year, which is crazy. So March 13th will be my 1 year as a registered nurse, but December 13th is my 1 year at this hospital, because that is when I started as a nurse extern, which is crazy. So I thought it would be a perfect time right now to just sit and share what I've experienced and learned this past year, which has been a lot, but I kind of put some points together that I thought would maybe be helpful for you guys. If you're not already and you're interested, definitely follow me on my Instagram and TikTok. I'll put it right here and also down below as well. I try to be pretty active on there, and you kind of just get a little bit more of me if you want that. But if not, that's totally okay. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want. If not, that's cool. Let's just hang out. Before we get into the video, I wanted to say a huge thank you to our sponsor of today's video, which is Base. If you guys have never heard of Base before, it is actually a brand that was created by Shay Mitchell, and it is a company where she has all of these amazing, cute bags and totes and anything that kind of just makes your travel experience a lot smoother and easier with the way that you can organize your stuff. And as always, I do have a code for you guys. All you have to do is go to basetravel.com/MaddieNJ. I'm going to put it right here for 15% off your order. Again, that is BEIS travel.com/MaddieNJ. So they have a bunch of different styles of luggage and different tote bags and a bunch of different colors, and the most perfect bag ever they sent me is the Weekender bag, and I actually got to use this past weekend when I was going to visit my friend. Beautiful and huge this is. One of my favorite things about it too is that it does come with a strap, and the strap is adjustable. These straps here are actually pretty long, so you can comfortably hold it like this, or if you want to do it crossbody like this. So the Weekender bag was designed to take the hassle out of packing for the weekend or whatever days you're going away. The tote is easy, and the bottom compartment is designed to keep your shoes, toiletry, and travel essentials separate. And you can even stash your hairdryer in there. The shoe compartment. As you guys can see, I could literally fit another pair of shoes in here. I could even stack, and if I had like summer shoes like sandals, I could fit so many in here. It is like it's like padded really nice. You guys, look how big this inside is. It's like a Mary Poppins bag, and it like stands up by itself. It's beautiful. It's not like, you know, falling over. So we have this pocket here that has a little Velcro strap, and we have a pocket here and here as well. And then on the outside here, I love this pocket because this would be perfect if I was like carrying this in the airport, where you can just throw your passport or your ID and your phone or headphones, gum. I love this easy compartment that's right on the outside. And then this is super convenient on the back. It has this little thing that you can slide over your handle of your luggage, and this would just sit right on top, so you can carry like this is your carry-on and your luggage, and it's just perfect and easy, and you're not, again, carrying like 10 different bags. And if you guys want to treat yourself or your loved ones for the holiday, all you guys have to do is go to basetravel.com/MaddieNJ for 15% off your first purchase. Everything will be in the description down below. Thank you again, Base, and let's go ahead and get started with this video. The first thing that like really stands out to me that I kind of just want to put out there is that I realized that you only can learn so much in nursing school. You're only there for so long, and there is just so many things that you can like learn about. For me, being in a specific specialty, I only had OB clinicals for 8 weeks and my OB class for 8 weeks. So it's impossible for me to have learned everything that I needed to know about obstetric nursing in those 8 weeks, and only being in clinical 8 different days. And I think that you have to realize, yeah, I'm not going to learn everything in nursing school because it is impossible, and also to be okay with that. And I think that is what is something that you have to be okay with, being like, yeah, I didn't learn everything, but you have to be open to learning more, because that is how you are going to grow in your position, in your role, and in your career. You have to be open to learning, and you do not know everything at all. And I feel like, especially as new grad nurses, we tend to be a little bit more timid, but that's not everyone. Some people can go in and will act like they run the show, act like they know everything, and won't take advice or help from others, and that is not good. Being a new grad nurse, we are, you know, the future of healthcare. We need to be open to learning and being the best that we can be, not only for ourselves but also for our patients. Like, nursing school only prepares you so much. You can go to, you know, all the clinicals, everything, but until you're actually on the floor as a nurse with that responsibility, with that, you know, all that pressure on you, it's a different experience. I would definitely say that you don't really understand until you are like in it. So the second thing that I learned while being a nurse, I'd heard about nurse residencies and residency programs. It was always really confusing to me, and I never really kind of knew what people were talking about. So I thought I would kind of explain mine to you and what I'm doing with my nurse residency at my hospital. So a nurse residency can be for different positions. Normally, you are in a residency program if you're like first hired on as a new nurse, or a new nurse in a specific like specialty. So I had 16 weeks of orientation. So orientation is different than residency. So my orientation was 16 weeks, and I did 14 weeks on days and then 2 on nights. And that's when I was with a preceptor, and my preceptor was like my guide, my go-to. She taught me like everything I needed to know, or mostly what she could teach me of what I needed to know to be, you know, a growing good nurse. That was 16 weeks. So then my OB nurse residency is something that's specific to my obstetric nursing career and my floor. So my OB nurse residency is, I believe there's like 10 classes, so it should take me around a year to finish, and we do it once a month, and it's 3 hours, and we go over different topics like shoulder dystocia, infant loss, OB emergencies, hemorrhages, like a bunch of OB emergency stuff like we go over. So I have a couple more classes left. I feel like maybe I don't even know how many I have left, but yeah, so that's my nurse residency, and that like you have to do it. And then we have something called Grow Strong for my hospital, and it's RN residency. So any new RN has to do it, regardless of if you've been a nurse before. Anyone who's new to like the facility has to do this, and when you finish this RN residency, you will get a raise. Bronson's spazzing out, I'll give him a minute. So I have OB residency, nurse residency, and they're 2 separate things. Obviously OB is specific to OB, RN is just like RN in general. So number 3, something that I have learned, and this kind of is opposite of number 1 that I talked about, but you know more than you think you do. And I've realized this because I cut myself short a lot. There's a lot of times I don't give myself credit where credit is due, and I think a lot of us do that. Sometimes my charge nurse will ask me a question. She's like, well, why are we doing this, you know? And I like, one time she asked me a specific thing, and I told her, she goes, oh wow, good job, you know, like what is the clinical reasoning behind this? And I feel like with OB, when we're doing our checks, like it becomes very routine sometimes if you have a routine patient, because everything is so different. But you know, like it takes a minute if you're thinking like, okay, why am I doing this? You know, like make sure you know why you're doing it. And when she checks me and she's like, why are you doing this? And I tell her, she goes, good, I was just making sure you knew why. And I feel like I learned a lot in nursing school about how to critically think, and I have seen it transition into me being in an RN role. Obviously, I'm not always the best at critically thinking. It's something that you always need to work on, and I'm still working on it because I'm still a newborn baby nurse, but you got to give yourself more credit. You really, really have to. Don't sell yourself short. I think a lot of times, especially being new, we don't want to overstep. We don't want to do anything, but you know a lot more than you think that you do. The next thing that I have written down is it will come as time comes. And this is something that it's been like regularly running through my mind at work recently when I do things, because we had a lot of people at the same time either leave to travel or retire or maybe go to NP school or a different specialty. So they hired a couple people on with me around like the same time or a little after. So everyone is kind of transferring from like their orientation to nights now. So we have a lot of new people on nights, which is newer than me because I'm still new. But which is weird because sometimes my charge is like, well, people are going to be asking you questions too when they come on nights. So, you know, make sure you know this. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be asking me questions. Like, obviously I'm not precepting anyone, but it is nice because I have been able to answer questions for, you know, if some of the newer nurses like myself though have questions, I'm able to help them, which is really nice, and it makes me feel good too. And I love helping in any way that I can because I really appreciate when people help me. When you're in your orientation and you're precepting, it is so overwhelming, and I remember thinking, how the hell am I going to remember all of this? How am I going to remember everything for vaginal deliveries, C-sections, triage, our OBS patients, our postpartum patients, the nursery, like everything? But you have to take it day by day, and then as time comes or like months go by, you will literally be in the same position as me and you're like, holy shit, like I'm doing this on my own? Like what? Like I remember like orienting, I'm just like thinking I saw one of the nurses like open up type in a code, send labs to pharmacy. I'm like, oh my gosh, like how does she know how to do that? Just something, but it's so simple. It's something that like is simple to me now, but at that time it was like, how does she even know how to do that? And it will come as time comes. That's like the best way I can put it. You are going to acquire skills and knowledge, and before you know it, you're going to be doing things that you never thought that you could be doing on your own. And I think that's like the beautiful thing about nursing and experience and just working and growing and building in your skills as a nurse. Something that I still need to learn and that I have learned is that it is okay to ask for help. And I talk to my mom a lot about this because sometimes you could be super stressed and like running around, and maybe your assignment's a little bit heavier than someone else's, or at that time your assignment's a little bit heavier. It's okay to ask for help. Sometimes I feel, oh, I don't want to bother them or talking, I don't want to, you know, bother anyone. But if they're sitting and talking, they can help you. There's times where I'm sitting and talking and I'd be more than happy to help someone out if they need help. So just kind of being like, it's okay to ask for help. You know, would you rather something go wrong and you didn't ask for help, or you know, you ask for help? You know what I'm saying? Like, and like for me, it's not like an ego thing. Like I'm not like, oh, like I'm not gonna ask for help. My thing is more so like, oh, I don't want to bother you or annoy you, you know. But everyone is so great, and everyone says I don't bother them, but you know, maybe they're being nice. This next one is my biggest one, which I never really thought of. Like, you learn about it in nursing school because obviously you're working with a bunch of different teams of people, and my biggest struggle, I think one of them, is with communication with doctors. I've mentioned it before too, especially the female doctors I work with. We just seem to butt heads. I need to have a backbone and also not take things personally. I know I mentioned this and touched on this topic in my last Q&A, but I think, like, I don't even know where to, like, I just need to have a backbone and be able to stand up for myself if I do feel like I'm being disrespected, because I may be new. I may be a new nurse. I may be young, and this may be my first nursing job, but it doesn't make me any less of a human being than anyone else. So I think I need to learn to stand up for myself and also brush things off. Don't take things too personally and just keep moving with it, because I like to dwell on things. If someone upsets me or hurts my feelings, I really sit with it and let it bother me too much, and I want to get over that. So that's something that I really need to work on and get better at, and something that I've learned. But I've also taken a lot of shit from doctors that I didn't think I'd ever be able to like handle, and I have. So I guess we're growing in that way. Next thing is night shift. Night shift is no joke. I was going into it and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm a night person, it's gonna be great, whatever. Night shift is, I love it. I really do like it. I do prefer it better than days, I think, but the schedule, I have been going through it since I've been on nights. I really haven't done much but like work and do things here and there and sleep, and that's something that I need to get better with. It's just really hard trying to adjust your schedule. Like, it's just so weird. I don't even know how to like describe it because it's weird. I'm hoping it'll get a little easier, but it's also mostly my fault because I don't schedule things accordingly to make myself be like the most productive. So definitely just like balancing life and work is something that I have to work on now, having like a full-time adult job. So something else that I have learned while being a new nurse, or like a realization, is that I need to get better at like regulating my emotions. And if I get stressed or overwhelmed, I need to kind of address it. Like, yeah, I'm stressed and overwhelmed, but like kind of work through it and not like beat myself up and then like get into this cycle for the rest of the shift where I'm just like on edge and like stressed and like on the verge of tears, because I've had shifts where I'm just like on the verge of tears the whole time because I'm like overwhelmed. And I just need to get better with recognizing that and then moving on from it, because I feel like I'll get in my head about it the whole shift, and it's like, okay, yeah, we had a really, really stressful first like 4 hours of your shift, or like a crazy, you know, 2 hours, but I need to be able to like move on from that and then like continue with my shift and not like get in my head about it and ruin the rest of the shift for myself, if that makes sense. And then something else, this is probably one of the biggest things that I need to work on and that I'm like adjusting to and that I didn't realize, and this is probably on a lot of floors too, but the jumping from assignments. When I was an aide, I was used to having my same 12 patients for the entire 12 hours. Maybe 2 of them would leave, like get discharged home, and I may get like 2 new admits, but it wasn't like super, super insane. And I feel like I get super overwhelmed when I'm jumping from assignments, because I'm like, did I chart everything? Did I do everyone's vitals? Did I do everyone's assessments, everyone's care plans? Like just making sure everything is done, and I like get so stressed. Like if my report, like people say if your room's a mess, your mind's a mess. If my report sheet's a mess, my mind is a mess. Like I feel like I just need to get better at laying everything out, or like a to-do list or something, and just staying on top of everything, just so I can have more of a smooth shift instead of being like flustered and being like, okay, did I do this? Did I do this? So I have done like made little sheets and stuff that's like helped me follow along, but I want to make like this master sheet that kind of helps me, you know, do that. Something else that I have learned is it is okay to take a mental health day. It is okay to call off. I think I've called off twice, and I don't care what anyone says. No matter where you work, no matter what job you have, they don't care about you, and they can probably replace you very fast. So I try not to stress. If I've got to call off, I got to call off. Like, sorry, people do it, and it's okay if you are not okay to call off, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of your patients. So I wanted to end with this last one, and that is that it is okay to change nursing jobs. If you go into a specialty and you thought you were gonna love it and you hate it and you want to leave, do it. Life is way too short to be in a job that you are not happy with, and with nursing you can do so many different things. And I can think of 2 of my best friends right now. One of them, she was in the cardiovascular ICU as an aide, and then she graduated and started as an RN there. She ended up hating it as an RN, and she switched to PACU. She's so much happier now. My other friend, she was in the pediatric ICU. It completely tore her down. She could not do it, and she is so much happier on a pediatric med-surg floor now. So it just depends, and it's okay if you don't like your first job that you taken, and that's okay. It's okay. You have to do what is best for you, because at the end of the day, all that matters is if you are happy and if you feel content and if you feel like you are working toward your purpose and your goal. So those were my, I guess, realizations, things I've learned within this past year working on the labor and delivery floor. I hope this video was somewhat insightful. Maybe you guys could let me know your things that you have realize or that you're learning or trying to adjust to. Also, whether you're a new grad or you're on a new floor or you're just trying to figure it out, or maybe if you're not even a nurse and you have a new job and you're trying to figure it out, let me know. So I do truly love you guys so much. You mean the absolute world to me. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. I hope you're enjoying your December so far, and also thank you so much again, Base, for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out the Base website if you want to treat yourself or your friends and family for the holidays. Everything is going to be down at the top of the description down below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.